Well, the U.S. Senator Jim Risch, who is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, has actually rejected Muhoozi's apology, terming it very hollow and insufficient, and further is calling for tougher sanctions on Uganda. So, to understand this, you realize that Bobby Wine had previously written some tweets, actually accusing the U.S., especially the embassy in Uganda, for subversive actions and actually holding fugitives, like hiding fugitives. So this is something that didn't go well with the U.S. senator. Of course, he's now calling for much more sanctions. He's actually said that Muhoozi, even after deleting the tweet, still shows the impact of that relationship, because now Muhoozi had threatened the relationship they had with the U.S., and therefore the U.S. interests were under threat. Their cooperation with Uganda, of course, you see that the U.S. military and Uganda military, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, always cooperate in many different levels, and therefore is calling for reassessment of these relations and more sanctions on Uganda. So, of course, you realize that Uganda held its presidential election, and there were some allegations of human rights abuses. Bobby Wine, who is the main opposition leader, still in hiding. His home was raided, and therefore all these calls, international calls and condemnations, has now reached a higher level internationally, and therefore Uganda is now feeling the pressure of whether they even had a very democratic election. And furthermore, the tweets from Muhoozi, who is always, which are deemed somehow reckless, because he runs a lot on social media, on X, and later on he does delete these texts. So the Senator Jim Risch is now calling for tougher sanctions to teach Uganda a lesson, especially Muhoozi and the government of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.